We're live. Excellent. Welcome everyone to the April 16th meeting for the Tourism Board of Directors. Quick roll call. We don't have anyone joining us online today. We have Tara from the city who's running commands. Also joining from the city, Elena and Travis. And then around the table here today, we have Melissa, Tracy, John, Kevin, Jeff, Lawrence, Richard, and myself. So I will ask if everyone had an opportunity to review the March 19th minute, and were there any questions, concerns? Nope. If that's the case, I will ask for a mover on approval of those minutes. John, and a seconder, Melissa. All in favor? And those minutes. Tara, or Elena, I understand that we have a declaration of pecuniary interest from Richard for the closed session. Right. Okay. Travis, I will ask you to give us the tourism overview and update.
Okay, thanks, Beverly. Just a couple of quick items. We are going to have the waterfront design consultants back to do the next phase of consultation. So they've updated or created a design based on what was heard at the last public engagement and conversations with stakeholders post-meeting. We're anticipating that to be May 1st. We'll have another workshop in office here for the board members and those that are interested in participating. We'll re-engage with the stakeholders that we did the last time and then just have general public consultation as well. Following those meetings, taking a couple weeks, but they'll finalize the design and then I'll take a report back to City Council to report on that. Obviously, we'll have the final design presentation here as well.
Can I ask, was the results from the survey ever posted publicly, or are they just?
Yeah, they're on the city's website under waterfront design. And just a quick recap on that, we have over 900 people fill out the survey, which is
that's awesome.
Significantly more than any other survey the city has ever done. So it's just great to see that engagement.
Links like what with that.
Oh, okay.
Instead of it saying like, I was in the survey results.
Survey results.
Like what we
Okay.
found out.
Oh, thank you.
We'll send it out post meeting. So the other items, the bids that were discussed in closed conference bid was application was submitted. So that's underway, and great work from Tara and the team. So great to see. We've got the tender for the bridge superstructure for the Root River in Wishart Park closes this Thursday. So we've got at least 4 parties that have been engaging us. We anticipate there may be a few more that come out of the woodworks, but we'll be getting those that pricing back then, and the civil work for the abutments and the trail work should be going out either end of April or the beginning of May. We've put a installation date of September 1st for the bridge because there's fishery time those that we have to consider, plus the installation of the abutments. But certainly that's been a long time coming, and it's starting to feel like it's real.
To worry about boat shitting again?
Not so much there, maybe some tubers, but that'll be about it. The other one that I'd like to acknowledge kind of ties into our meeting today is the new partnership with the tour train and Tonopah Bush White. So they've got dates set for August 6th and August 22nd with some activation on the train for those 2 groups. So it'll be good to see. And then lastly, we're doing quite well in terms of mat collections for this year. We're about $16,000 in the positive year over year compared to 2023, which is great, and slight bumps in terms of occupancy rate. Bit of a shock for us, especially with the winter that we've seen. So it was really great to see, and hopefully we can continue that trend for the remainder of the year. So the visitor guide, you want to talk to that?
The visitor guide is
in its final proof stage. We're getting the hard copy proof by FedEx. It's probably gonna be down there today. For us to review, and then once we sign off on that, it's 2 week turnaround to the guys are in, so they'll be ready for May, which is what our deadline was to get them up prior to May long weekend for the kickoff for tourism season. We have some guides left over from last year, but the way we've been running our guide is they're dated 2023, 2024, so they actually have 2-year lifespan. So we'll be able to finish off the use of the last year's guide and be able to.
So you
So
have some that you wanna send out with some of the hoteliers?
well, that's where I'm going with that. Okay, thank you for the segue. If anybody needs visitor guides, we have some that we can send you out with today.
We had a critique of one last year's.
Mhm.
Picture of me was flattering.
Oh, Dr. Rock guide,
We're in a hat.
Only wearing a hat,
That's great.
that was part of it.
which one was it?
I'm kind of, just see absolutely, one of the pictures on the.
On the boat?
history there, yeah. I see myself half there, I'm like, that was tough.
So was it the right
If I'm
hat?
looking down at flames,
Yeah,
I
was it the
want
right
the whole
hat?
show, that's it, I'm not gonna just accept half of it.
Excellent, okay, anything else, no, okay, thank you, Travis and Alana for those updates. Financial update, Richard, I will direct to you.
Okay. Alana's worked quite hard on this, I believe, so we finally have what I'm gonna call a proper financial statement, which is
Hallelujah.
a year to date, by month, and approved budget, so we're actually comparing how we're spending our money to the budget that was presented, so I think that's fantastic, roughly where we are, is I mean, we're well within the plan, obviously. In the bank account and in March, we had almost $1,100,000. A month in, we've spent, the highlight will be, we spent $72,000 on advertising out of the budget of $312. Then all the other expenditures fall in line, so. Now, the one which I'm glad you put in, the one thing that we have is we've got 4 commitments. Mountain bike trail, we still have $200,000 still to spend. The double deck bus, 90,000 on that. And 2 conference bids, one for 65 and one for 20. They didn't happen, so. But it's on the report now, so we know what's up with that. I think that's quite good.
Excellent, yes, thank you for the work on that, I know that the transition to the new accounting firm and that has been
And I think,
long.
I think what we'll do is that should be sent out as part of a package.
Yeah, so much for. This was more of a template that was put together to see how it would work, now that Richard had eyes on it, thinks it's fine, we'll start seeing out.
Excellent, anything else that you guys want to add from the city side, regards to the financial update? Perfect, so we will now move into close for item 6A on Atomica.
So there's an open presentation first, just there's an open presentation, and then we'll move into closed at the end of their presentation for the business plans and budget discussion.
Okay, perfect. So if that is the case, then I welcome Jamie Hilsinger and yes,
Chris Lee.
Chris, nice to meet you, Fred. Thank you for joining us today, and we don't actually have anyone. on.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna
It's
swap.
still open, isn't it?
it's still open, so here, why don't you sit here?
Yeah, we'll move down there, so you guys are
Oh, visit.
on camera. We just need to make sure that you guys are actually heard for the recording.
Okay.
So why don't Alana and I swap with the both of you?
Okay.
So that,
Great, even musical.
yeah.
If it was made for exercise.
So Tara's gonna put your presentation up, she'll control for you, Just tell her when, show them the slides.
Oh, thank you.
Switch back. So thank
Yeah.
We can hear him.
Travis's voice carries.
Perfect.
Okay, so again, welcome Jamie and Chris. Travis, if you could just give us a little bit of a insight into
Yeah.
what we're moving into.
Absolutely. So, thanks to the both of you for attending. Just as a reminder, and for some of you that are new, just a bit of an overview. So last year, Atomica came to us with a request to actually the tourism board with a request for support funding, kind of to bridge them through the year. So they had requested $75,000 to assist with operations. And kind of make up some of the shortfall that they had in terms of funding. So those funds came directly from the tourism board to support those operations. I believe Atomica also at the same time had a request in for long-term operational funding with the city. Unfortunately, that was not approved as part of the 2024 budget. So a similar situation has occurred this year in terms of potential gap in terms of the overall operating budget. And since then, and I'm going to turn this over to Jamie to get into more detail, and Chris, but since then, there's been some collaboration and newly developing operational relationship between the Bush Plane and Atomica that they're going to discuss today. Get into more detail. Yes, and I should specify this new request is from the Tourism Development Fund, so it will go for a recommendation from the board, and if they're successful, it will go in front of the City Council.
Hi guys, my name is Chris Lee. I'm the Director of Operations at Atomica Secretariat. And I'm just going to be helping do the presentation today with Jamie Hilson.
You may know, I'm Jamie Hilsinger, the Executive Director of the Bush Plane Museum. And I'm here mainly to support and talk.
Okay guys, so I'm just gonna go over, next slide, sorry. I'm just gonna go over a few of our community contributions that Atomica put in place in 2023. So in 2023, Atomica reached thousands of visitors and delivered STEM-based education products to over 6,000 students. Atomica was recognized for contributions to the community and education with awards such as the Community Builders Award for Education, as well as 2 Chamber of Commerce Awards, the Community Investment Award and the Nonprofit Visitors of the Year Award. We also contributed to visitor experience and overall visitor numbers at the CVHC. In fact, about a third of the visitors to the CVHC in 2023 came for Atomica as well. This just goes to show that Atomica provided real value to the community through tourism and the surrounding area of Sault Ste. Marie. Next slide, please. So in 2023, Atomica made multiple funding requests, and we were generally successful on most accounts, but obviously in some instances we were not. But with our new memorandum of understanding with the CVHC, we've begun to generate revenue off of general and adventure pass admissions, as well as being able to make contributions to other revenue sources within the CVHC, such as education and events bookings. Next slide, please. But despite all these efforts, we still face a $33,000 deficit for projected budget in 2024. So today, Atomica is requesting $75,000 to help offset this $33,000 projected deficit and help cash flow. Our lowest month projected to only have $4,000 in bank, but how we're planning to curb this. Currently, we're in the process of implementing new pricing on programs and outreach. We're increasing the pricing on our outreach programming, streamlining our pricing with CVHC where possible, and we're even developing better booking systems, including contracts and invoicing. We're also applying for a lottery trust account to have more opportunities to increase fundraising through the lottery system. We're looking at a reduction in our costs by streamlining our collections and moving to more biodiverse tanks for vivariums to reduce our plant requirements and improve the health of Atomica's collections. We also have a new strategy in grant funding requests by working with the CVHC grant team to determine all potential sources of funding, coordinate our funding requests for partner when appropriate, as well identify annual projects for which funding is required. We've also gained new contacts within 3 other insectariums across Canada to generate revenue of our collections by selling surplus stocks or colonies that we hold, and collaborate on knowledge with these other educational institutions. Now I'm going to turn the mic over to Jean. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, so one of the other strategies that we are working on, and this is why I'm here on behalf of the Bush Plain, is that we are working on a management agreement with Atomica. So the intent of this agreement is to help to basically oversee the operation, the day-to-day operation of Atomica, and help them reach sustainability and a more financially feasible model. So basically within the context of this, we will be able, with a little bit more control, we'll be able to have more regular operating hours in Atomica, which will then allow the Bush Plain to develop more partnerships and opportunities for Atomica to generate more revenue. We anticipate that if we get to move ahead on all of this, these additional revenues would be about $78,000 a year, which is about 59% increase over what Atomica already got from the memberships and so on through the memorandum of understanding last year. So some of the things that we would be doing because of that consistency in operating hours, we would move to Adventure Pass only ticket sales, which means that every ticket purchased at the Bush Plain would go to support both Atomica and the Bush Plain as one. We would have a more consolidated focus on the gift shop. We figure, while the Bush Plain is currently managing the gift shop sales for Atomica, we don't necessarily curate all their products currently. So I think with a little bit more focus from one side, that will help hopefully increase the opportunities for revenue generation there. There'll be more focus on joint marketing. I think we'll have also an improved visitor experience. One of the benefits of this potential agreement is that Atomica can also help the Bush Plain. We currently have an exhibit called the Golden Nature Trade, which is terribly underserviced. It has great potential to be a great visitor draw. So we are intending to move that beside Atomica and have them manage it for us as part of the overall agreement. And there would also be more opportunity to partner on education events and other programs. A great example, we just did almost 600 students over 6 days, March and April, bringing kids in to talk about climate change and taking climate action in their community. Those events were inspired by Atomica seeing a new exhibit that arrived from Science North called Jane Goodall's Reasons for Hope and saying, hey, we could do something with this. And so we worked together and both entities were able to benefit from it, including some outside agencies as well. And I think it's a great effort to hopefully bring about some change in our young people's minds. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm sorry, and I did change the last one, so change it again. Thank you. Another collaborational effort that we are making is we're actually doing a pilot with the A1 Nature Train this year. So most of you, many of our hoteliers were involved with the train. So as you know, the train is most popular during that peak fall color season. In the summer, it doesn't necessarily drive quite as much tourism. There's also this perception sometimes that it's a bit of a not so exciting ride. It's 4 hours there and 4 hours back to some time. So our idea, and we've done this in conjunction with the tour trains, is we're going to pick 2 dates in August. So we have August 6th and 22nd. We are basically buying 2 cars. Or selling tickets for 2 cars, and there will be 90 minutes of programming from the CVHC, 90 minutes of programming from Atomica, plus included will be about a discount voucher to come to the Bush Plain. So we are hoping that this pilot will be really successful, and it will be an effort that both of us can go and seek funding for next year and make it into a broader based program that can run throughout at least August of 2025. Next slide, please. So how do we plan to use that TDF money? I'm gonna see we have to talk about it. So Atomica will be using $33,000 of funding to offset the current deficit that exists. So despite being successful on a Resilient Communities grant in March, there is still a deficit within the budget that I have not been able to balance. This money will basically support wages that are required to just manage and keep the business operating. The remainder will flow into 2025 and help bridge that slow season of 2025, again, supporting wages and key operational expenses such as food for creatures. And that will help give a little bit more time to Atomica to develop these new revenue streams and move to that sustainable business model. Next slide, please. So as expected, you want to measure success. I completely get that. So how will we do that? Through increase, we will watch increases in self-generated revenue. That will be a way of measuring it. Increases in visitation to Atomica and to the Bush Plain even. We want to see those revenues and expenditures align in a balanced budget. That is a key metric that is going to be very, very important going forward. And also the results of those revenue generating ideas such as the Tutor Train pilot, lottery trust account, and educational events that we put together. Next slide, please. So next we will be talking about the budget and the business plan. So we're moving to a closed session for that.
So there's some procedure pieces that we have to do.
Okay, so as we move into closed, be it resolved that this committee proceed into closed session to discuss matters concerning confidential third-party information. Further, be it resolved that should the said closed session be adjourned, the committee may reconvene in open session to continue to discuss the same matters without the need for further authorizing resolution. Municipal Act Section 239(2)(I), a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to produce significantly the competitive position or interfere significantly with the contractual or other negotiations of a person, group of persons, or organizations. Do I have a mover into closed, please? Dawn and then Lawrence, and all in favor. Excellent.